Hey Natural Bellas, it's me again. Today I just wanted to do some chatting. Yesterday I was on Facebook and I saw this video by Dove, and it was about this guy who's a forensic scientist who drew portraits of people as they described them. And they did like this scenario in which they would have women come in, and then he would ask them questions. He was on the other side of a curtain, and he would ask them questions to describe themselves. And as they were describing themselves, he would draw out a portrait of them. And then he would ask them to leave, and he wouldn't look at them. And during this process, it was another person they were with, and they were told to get to know that person. So the other group of ladies would come back and they had to describe the person that they were sitting or talking with, or they were told to get to know. And he would ask about the same person, and they would describe what they looked like, and he would draw that out. And in the end, he brought them back and he had them look at the portraits. And they looked at the portrait of the description of themselves, and then they looked at the portrait of the description that the other person described them. And every single one of those pictures where the woman described herself, or the person, because there was a couple of men that I saw, but I never saw their portraits, where the woman described themselves, they look nothing like what the person who described them looked like. The person who described how they look, the picture looked better. And the women became emotional and overwhelmed and realized just how self-critical and judgmental they really were about their own looks and their own beauty. And of course, it caused me to become emotional, and it caused me to think, because in my profession and what I do professionally is I am a life mentor, life visionary, or the basic term for it is life coach, but I do a lot more than life coaching. I run across women who do not realize how beautiful they are, and they completely deny anything good or beautiful about them. And it's even that way amongst my group of friends. And the type of things that we study, we're really into big self-empowerment, improvement, a lot of those things. But when it comes to our beauty, we work on our mind, our intellect, we'll work on our improving our spiritual side, we'll work on financial, entrepreneur, all those things, goals, we will talk about, discuss passionately, read, do what we have to do. But I noticed a trend amongst the women that I personally mentor, or women that I encounter through happenstance, or even in my group of personal friends, and myself included, that when one of us called the other person beautiful, the first thing it said is, girl, no. Or I have one friend, I'm not going to say her name because she killed me. It's absolutely gorgeous. She's 25, beautiful, very curvy, beautiful hair, beautiful smile. She genuinely is a beautiful person. But if you give her a compliment, she immediately changes the subject because she does not feel that way about herself. If she describes herself, you would think that she was a hideous beast that came from the bowels of hell. But she's not. She's absolutely gorgeous. And a lot of women are like that. Even the ones in our group who pretend that they just know that they're fabulous, when it comes down to serious and deep things, you see the insecurity. When I went natural, and my group of friends went natural, some of us immediately just jump right in. My cousin, and because we're always in competition with one another, decided to just run the big job. I had transitioned for 5 months before I cut off my hair, because I was so attached to how long my hair had gotten. And mind you, when I big chopped, there was nothing wrong with my hair except for the fact that it was heat trained. But it was long, it was healthy, no chemicals. I had been without chemicals for 4 or 5 years. I just wanted to see my own texture without straightening it. So it was difficult for me. And then I had another friend who, after she got through her, it took about 3 months and she chopped off all her hair. But in our circle, my friends slowly and but surely they began to go natural. But others had more of a problem with it than others. Um, I was okay with short hair because in my younger years I cut off my hair before and rock short hair, so I knew I was okay. But I have my friends who are convinced their face is too big for short hair. Their head is too big for short hair. And mind you, they have big heads. But they're beautiful. And I'm pretty sure that if they had have cut their hair off, they could have rocked it. I myself, I know that I'm extremely critical of myself. And it got to the point where the things that I was saying and noticing about myself, I found my daughter doing the same thing. I'm sitting on the couch watching television. I'm looking her in the hallway, constantly going and checking her stomach. Now, my daughter is a good two. I'm 5'3". My daughter is 5'9", 5'10". She's very tall. She got it from her father, who's 6'5". And my daughter is skinny. And I watch her look in the mirror, not the typical looking of making sure I look nice and okay. I'm critical with a critical eye. Walking around talking about she's fat, how she hates her legs, how she hates being tall, how at one point she hated her natural hair. Oh my God, that was a fight. A complete fight when it came to her natural hair. But eventually she realized that she liked natural hair and she did not want to follow the crowd of what everybody else thought was beautiful, and she wanted to stand out. But when it comes to herself, she is so critical. And I realized she got that from me. And at that point, it came a point where I realized I could not sit and talk to my child and say, you are beautiful, why do you criticize yourself that much, when she's watching me do the very thing. Looking in the mirror saying, oh my God, I hate my stomach. Oh my God, I hate this, I hate this, I hate that. And as I told you in a prior video, because of my hypothyroidism and PCOS, I have been doing all the things that I knew to do at the time to lose the weight, and it just was not coming off. So because of that, I became so critical and judgmental of myself. And even now, I find myself doing that. I had gotten to a point, I got into makeup, and I am aspiring to be a freelance makeup artist. I really enjoy makeup. I love the transformation that it does on people. I love how it makes people feel. I love when people look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I don't look like myself. I absolutely enjoy that. But I found myself, once I started doing makeup and learning about all the little things about makeup, concealing, all that, becoming hypercritical of my face. I have somewhat dark circles under my eyes, discoloration, and then because of the breakouts I was getting from my tooth condition, I have some spots. And I've got to the point where I really hated my skin, and I would not want to walk out or go or do anything without putting on makeup. And luckily that only lasted about a couple of weeks, because one thing that I would say about myself is when I find myself not liking myself because of the work that I do, I go deep within. I spend time meditating, contemplating, journaling, and figuring out what's going on. And I realized I had become so critical of myself because I was trying to live up this perception of beauty and not accepting that your body goes through changes. Change happens. It doesn't make you less beautiful. It doesn't. Your perception of you is what makes you less beautiful. And once I changed my perception of me and my situation, I became more comfortable in my own skin. Because I realized, as for my daughter, she's 14. Children do not do what you say, but they do what you do. And so I've been on a journey. Even the title of my channel and my blog is Natural Authentic. And in my introduction, it was to be able to find or being on the journey of finding my natural, authentic self and being that way. Not forcing it, not faking it, not creating a persona in order to get along or in order to fit in, but being me authentically and understanding and trusting that as I am my authentic self, I will attract those who are equally authentic into my life and my world. And that's all I truly want, is to live authentically. Naturally, of course. Tell me about your struggles. Tell me about the things that you struggle when it comes to accepting your natural beauty. Are you hypercritical? Have you been hypercritical and found your way back to your authentic self? I want to hear about it. Let me know. I can't wait to hear and participate in such a great and important conversation. I love you all, and I hope that every day you grow to love yourself more. Talk to you soon.